Alright guys, week 8 here, discussing biotechnology and bioengineering, the advent of CRISPR and the future of the human genome, or the world large. So I'm proposing that bioengineering and biotechnology is the equivalent of the atom bomb of the 20th century and is the 21st century equivalent of such technology. Poses similar questions, poses similar potential for significant and lasting harm. Obviously, great good could come of it, but I think the potential for harm is actually likely to outweigh the potential good. I would propose that it, for the most part, violates many of the ethical codes that we've discussed, including, I would say, environmental ethics on many levels, because it doesn't take into consideration the needs of the ecosystems or the organisms that are involved, and has the potential to cause lasting genetic changes or even eradication of species, and therefore the collapse of certain ecosystems. Also, I would say it violates animal ethics because of the way in that the animals themselves are frequently experimented on and treated, and that the creatures that are involved in these experiments are oftentimes cause significant amounts of harm, have sometimes difficult and painful lives, oftentimes very, very unusual lives that may result in shortened lifespan, may result in potentially harm to their persons, well, not persons, but their animal nature, right? And unknown effects such as cancer or mental retardation, damage to the neurological systems, things like that, that obviously pose great concerns from an animal ethics standpoint. Also, despite the good that can come of it, including advancements in medicine and so on, its use, whether willingly or unwillingly, whether intentionally or illegally, for the creation of genetically modified human beings, the removal of certain aspects of the human genome, and or the insertion of other traits into the human genome, I think is a Pandora's box that once opened, I don't know if we can put it back. There's a potential for militaries, of course, to use it for the development of so-called super soldiers, right? But not just militaries. It could be terrorist groups. It could be illegal activities. It could be clandestine groups such as the CIA and the KGB. It could be gangs and mafia. It could be many, many, many things. If there's money, if there's knowledge, then there's likely opportunity. And because of this, I would say we should tread very carefully and start taking very decisive steps to limit how this technology is used, how this technology is available, and most particularly, start enforcing and properly regulating this technology before it gets out of hand. Because we could potentially wipe out huge sectors of the human genome, create crazy new levels of inequality and new forms of racism, if you will, that we have never experienced before, as well as potentially wiping out sectors of the human genome completely, potentially even wiping out entire races through a new form of advanced, whatever you want to call it, a new form of advanced selective, not really breeding, but selective development of humankind, right? So I propose that this is the nuclear weapon of the 21st century, that it is of significant gravity and it must be taken seriously. And I propose, before we move any farther forward, we need to have a serious sit down with all the persons involved. Take a look at how this is going to impact our future, and take significant, decisive steps at an international level to make sure that this stays in the hands of those that will use it for good, and that there is legal action against those who would use it for evil. End of story. Thanks, guys.